What's up, everyone? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. So I totally put out like a PvP, or I recorded rather a PvP guide, a mini guide. It was just going to be a holdover until I came back later and upload a full one, but YouTube ate it apparently, so I'll just have to re-record that another time. So I was asked, and I apologize, I just haven't had the time to go and get it, who your name is, but whoever it was, thank you so much for requesting the Moonlight guide. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that I never got a Moonlight hero. I drew like 6 times on the banner and it always gave me normal heroes. But I'll explain the process to you guys and we'll go over some of the skills of the characters. And I'm going to learn some things here because I never had them, so I don't know. But we will get to all the Moonlight heroes that I can pull up that have translations. I got someone to translate Moonlight Silk for me, as you see up there. Put in my Discord so I would remember it. So basically, Moonlight Silk, or actually, let me explain Moonlight first before we get into the characters. Once you beat in the story mode 1010, Moonlight summons open up. There is a shop where you can go and exchange a currency to get the Moonlight summon tokens, which I highly recommend you guys all save your Moonlight stuff for in the shop, by the way. But essentially, they are inverse units of all the characters that are in the game, and they are only light and dark, if you notice. There might be an exception to that, but they're mostly light and dark. But if you guys notice, on the initial banner, you can't get light or dark units. You can get light or dark units from the table. I'm not sure if you can get them from general summons, maybe for certain banners. But in general, you can't get light and dark heroes. And so once you beat 1010... you get Moonlight summons open up. So these are heroes that are unavailable rather, until you get to that point, which apparently some streamers have been putting out guides recommending you reroll for like ML Ken and stuff. You can't get ML Ken. Like, you can't get ML Ken on the first reroll. Eventually, you know, it's just an honest mistake. Some people just didn't get there for whatever reason, so... Anyways, with that being said, I do not have a picture from ML Silk. Regular Silk is actually one of the better heroes you can get early game. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over her skills here. So her S1, it is an attack. 25% chance to cause bleed for 2 turns, damage based on her speed. Her 2 is an attack and reduce action gauge by 10%. If they have a debuff, an additional attack takes place. So essentially you get 2 attacks. Reducing action gauge up to 20%. I'm sure you can probably upgrade it, get more action gauge, etc. Her 3 is a silence, along with an anti-heal for 2 turns, and reduces action gauge by 100%. That's pretty fucking strong. So, yeah, removes a turn from them. Damage based on speed, so... that is, keep in mind, guys, too, the Moonlight versions of the characters, they are completely separate characters. Has nothing to do with the regular character, except for the way that they look in general, their template, but they end up being like shadow versions or light versions or whatever of the heroes, so keep that in mind. So that is what ML Silk does. Seems like it'd be a pretty awesome unit there. Let me go ahead. I will hide this so we can get back to the regular unit stuff. Hold on. So there you go. So people know, this is the hero in the game that puts out the most damage, Brawler Ken. If you get a Brawler Ken on your team in Korea, if you happen to pull him, you can then sell that account for $300. I am assuming probably you can do that in America, and for at least the first couple months, you'll probably be able to get even more than $300, depending on what else is on your account. But let's get into it, because I've never actually looked at this hero, because I didn't have him. So let's look at it. You got a dark warrior type, guys, keep in mind. So number 1, attacks the enemy with a 50% chance to reduce attack power by 1 turn, or for 1 turn rather. Probably a super strong ability. Upgrade, you can get additional chance up to 75%. 2, Dragon Blaze Kick. Brawler Ken will counterattack an enemy attack with a 30% chance. Oh wow. I've heard that he does that, yeah. He will 100% counterattack if attacked by a critical hit. So that's why he's a hard counter to crit heroes. And will use Dragon Blaze Kick as the counter. Dragon Blaze Kick will always land as a critical hit, and damage increases proportionally to Brawler Ken's lost HP. Okay. So essentially, counterattack is actually fairly rare in this game as far as your units go. There is a set bonus that gives you an additional 20%. But yeah, if he's just has a 30% chance off the cuff of counterattacking, that's pretty strong. And then if he himself is hit with a crit strike, that is also very strong for 100% counter. Pretty crazy there. And his 3, which is a soul burn ability, strikes the ground with a powerful blow and attacks all enemies, reducing enemies' armor with a 50% chance for 2 turns. Increase your attack power for 2 turns as well on a 5-turn cooldown. And as you upgrade, you can get the chance to 75% for the defense down for 2 turns and cooldown reduction to 4. So yeah, this hero looks pretty nuts, especially considering the counter thing, because if you land a critical strike on him, he will counter 100%, but just a 30% flat out rate to counter, that is nuts. That means that... I wonder if his 2 is his counter on the base one. I know it is on the 100%. Maybe not on his base one. But even if it's his 1, I mean, you're lowering attack and hitting probably fairly hard. So yeah, this is the hardest hitting character in the game, guys. Especially for PvP, you get this hero. He can be countered, but still pretty strong against most everything. So Moonlight Summon, when you get there, this is the hero you want right here. So... Alright, so now we're going to get into some of the other Moonlight heroes. Let's go. Challenger Dominio. I don't even remember a regular Dominio. But anyways, let's see here. Generates electricity to attack the enemy. Honor 1, damage increases during a critical hit. Seems legit. Soul burn effect, damage increases. Honor 1. 2, power charge. Increase the attack gauge of Challenger Dominio by 10%, the action gauge rather, sorry, when an ally is attacked by a critical hit, and increase your attack in proportion to the number of critical hits occurred by allies. Oh boy. Huh. So I wonder what that last part means, because if like 2 people get hit with a crit that are on your team, or multiple crits, does that mean that her next attack gets buffed by X amount? I don't understand. They're not going to give us the percentages on that, but that's pretty crazy. On the attack buff, I mean, the action buff they give us. Okay, so depending on how crazy that is, that could be pretty nuts. On a 4-turn cooldown, power charge. Alright, so then Super Lightning. Challenger Dominio releases a powerful electricity, increases the critical damage of allies for 3 turns. Oh, that's cool. And increase the action gauge by 10%, gets an additional turn. Yeah, so the power on some of these skills, man, freaking nuts. You get them in certain situations, especially. So this was a Dark Caster Spirit User type. Alright, Dark Corvus. It's funny if you see regular Corvus, he's like this upstanding knight dude. And now we got Dark Corvus here, so let's see. Dark Corvus attacks the enemy with a shield and recovers some of the damage as health with a 50% chance to provoke the enemy for a turn. So this is a hard taunter here because you can get up to 75%. Damage increases proportionally to your maximum health. That's very similar to our original Corvus works, just stronger, at least on the 1. When you attack on the 2 here, your skill cooldown decrease by 1 turn with a 70% chance. Decrease 1 additional turn when you hit with a crit strike. So I guess this means all skill cooldowns. This is a passive. All skill cooldowns, and then you can upgrade it to basically make it a 100% chance, so that can be pretty strong. And we'll see what the skill cooldown for his 3 is, because that's the only thing that's going to have a cooldown. It's also the Soul Burn ability, 9-turn cooldown, so that's why you need the cooldown then, okay. Attack the enemy with a blow of death, recover some of the damage as health. Damage is affected only by your health. Oh, interesting. Like your current health or your max health, I wonder. At the start of battle, the skill starts with maximum cooldown. Maximum cooldown. If you soul burn it, the damage increases. Huh, interesting. So, along with his 2, as long as he's not like stunned or can't act for whatever reason, on a 9-turn cooldown, you're going to be using your 1 most of the time to taunt. And maybe you build him with counter if he gets the taunt off, or you build him, because you can't really build him for follow-up because he's a warrior, I believe. Right, yeah, so... Let's see, you attack 1 turn, that takes a 8-turn cooldown, a turn goes by 7 turns. So say sometime within that point you get either counter or follow-up to proc. That means that his ult normally, assuming you're not stunned or any other craziness, is going to be on a 4-turn cooldown. Because a turn's going to go by and then he acts. Also, if you're critting, I believe, you get an additional turn cooldown. So depending on if you're critting enough or not and all the other contingencies, you can actually make that a 3-turn cooldown. Interesting. And then when you use this, hopefully it would be worth it as far as damage goes. But I'm assuming it is if it's built up like that. So that's cool. Now we're going to get to Executor Vildred. Such a nice guy. Helped you save the world, by the way, in the story. Nice guy. Super nice. I like his katana design. That's pretty cool. Anyways, keep in mind this is a rogue dark character. Sweep. Quickly draws out the sword to attack 2 enemies to reduce their action gauge by 10%. The lower the health of the target, the greater the damage. So he must be a finisher character. Interesting. Alright. So then 2... Oh wait, hold on. Action gauge reduction bonus up to 14%. Okay. 2... 10-turn cooldown. Interesting. Resurrects with 70% health if Vildred dies. Gains max focus and resets the cooldown on Sword of Darkness, which I assume is his 3. And you can eventually upgrade that to 100% health recovery. 10-turn cooldown, huh? That's interesting. Supreme Sword of the 7 Darkness. Attacks all enemies and applies blind with a 75% chance for 2 turns. Blind in this game, by the way, guys, it is basically makes it so that it's harder for you to put accuracy, or excuse me, debuffs up. Not necessarily a you're gonna miss type thing. If focus is maxed, increased damage and chance of applying blind. Wait, what? Oh, if focus is maxed, okay. The skill is usable again next turn if it kills the enemy target. Oh wow, that's strong. The lower the enemy health, the greater the damage, yep. But then focus, is that a self-stacking? Yeah, apparently it's a self-stacking thing, so... I don't know how high it goes, but you get it with his 1 and his 3. And then when he resurrects, he has full focus, so... This guy's actually one of the big storyline characters. You'll see him a lot. Seems like he'd be pretty good. His ulti is actually really well animated. It's like this big, like Orochimaru snake thing, for those of you that watch Naruto. Alright, Rue of Light. I'm not 1000% sure she's actually a Moonlight unit, but most of the people with titles are Moonlight units, and she is holy, so I'm gonna cover her. Here we go. Rue attacks the enemy with a staff. Now, let me check what she is. She is a healer, actually. A holy 5-star healer. Rue attacks the enemy with a staff, recovers some of the damage as health to ally with lowest health. Damage increases proportionally to your max health. Okay. So it's a recovery for her 1. Self-recovery. Oh no, ally recovery. To ally with lowest health, that's good. Increases proportionally to her max health, okay. And you can increase recovery pretty quickly, actually. Although I've never seen what a skill upgrade is for dark units or Moonlight units. So maybe the material costs are probably more, is what I would guess. Pillar of Light. Rule summons Pillar of Light and recovers an ally target so I assume that means heals them. Creates a shield for 2 turns. The amount of recovery and shield increases proportionally to max health, so that makes sense. 3-turn cooldown. And then our ultimate here, Ascension of Light. Resurrects a dead ally and recover all health of an ally, and grants invincibility effect for 1 turn. The same effect applies if the target is alive. The amount of recovery increases proportionally to your maximum health. So this is one of the few heroes in the game, guys, with Resurrection. I'm not sure. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not even sure. I guess we'll see later if anyone else has it in this way, where she can resurrect someone else. Executor has a self-resurrection. Invincibility or invisibility, not sure, but either way, some type of damage mitigation. The same effect applies if the target is alive. So essentially you can use that as a health recovery. And an invincibility as well. So that's cool. Seems like a good top tier healer. Destina-ish. That is Destina, by the way, the effects, if you notice. So this is inverse Destina, basically. Okay, yeah, so that would be a Moonlight hero. So good, good. I covered a Moonlight hero. Alright, Beholder Shuri. Light 4-star archer. So let's get to it. Beholder Shuri attacks the enemy with a rifle with a 35% chance to inflict target. Increase received damage of the enemy target and reduce dodge rate for 2 turns. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because there is a dodge bonus in this game, and some heroes I'm sure have passive dodge. Oh, that's an interesting 4-1. Pretty cool. So basically you're amplifying damage and reducing dodge, so double amplified damage. 2, snapshot. Beholder Shuri attacks the enemy with a rifle and removes 1 beneficial effect. Wow, that's pretty strong on a 4-turn cooldown. With a 75% chance and increase own speed for 2 turns. Interesting. You can eventually get that to a 100% chance to remove a beneficial effect with upgrades. And then finishing fire for the ultimate here. Soul burn effect. 6-turn cooldown. Shuri attacks the enemy with magic bullets, penetrates the target's defense. Damage increases proportionally to lost health. That's interesting. So you kind of want him to hover around like the 50% health mark or so. Skill cooldown time decreases by 2 turns with the soul burn effect, so that'll take it to 4 turns. Okay, pretty interesting. Seems like a pretty nasty killer type hero, you know? Alright, we're about halfway, guys, so let's keep going. Bloodblade Karin. Kinda, she looks sexy as regular Karin, but Bloodblade, hey baby, what's going on? She even has the red blade. Anyways, let's get to it here. 1, Bloodblade Baron attacks the enemy with ballistic slashes, restores own health in proportion to damage dealt. Your action gauge is increased by 50% when you kill a target. Wow. So if you get her hitting really hard, that could be something. Because her regular version already hits pretty hard. But her restoring health, that would be really helpful on regular Karin. Proportion to damage dealt, that's pretty cool. Alright, Cursed Hematology. As Bloodblade Karin's health decreases, attack power increases, armor increases, and speed increases. Nice. So it's like passively, the lower her health goes, the more powerful she gets. Kind of a berserker type thing. Wow, and when you upgrade it, it gives you additional stat boosts. Wow. On these, I mean. That's cool. Alright, Sword Technique Dragonfly. Bloodblade Karin consumes 20% of her own health and attacks all enemies. So that goes really well with her too. If you kill an enemy, additional turn will occur. Nice. Wow, I want this hero. This hero seems pretty cool. Soul burn, damage increase. It's basically like regular Karin, but regular Karin's issue is she's really hard to keep up because everything she does is based around crit and debuff, so she doesn't really have like defensive things for her, so you have to keep her alive with your party. But this girl, she's life stealing. And then as her health's getting lower, she's also increasing her armor and speed and attack power. Wow, pretty amazing. Alright, so combat type Maya. Get out the way, pig. What's the pig here? Go away, pig, go away. There's no way to click it off. Hold on. I'll reload the page. Well, anyways. So let's go down. Alright, so Maya wields a blunt weapon to attack. Hold on. Blunt weapon to attack the enemy and increase her own defense for a turn. I believe Maya was a tank, right? Yeah. So her passive 1 increases her own defense. That's pretty strong for a tank. Let's see if she has any type of taunt or damage reduction for team skills. Maya has a 80% chance to remove 1 weakening effect after 1 hit. Okay, so I guess that means on her. Interesting. And you can upgrade it basically to 100 at some point. And then her 3, finishing blow, soul burn skill, 5 turn cooldown. Maya attacks the target with a powerful smash, increases damage by 300% when the target's health is below 30%. Damage increases proportionally to your armor. 300% when the target's health is below 30%, wow. And the soul burn increases the damage. So essentially, yeah, that really is finishing blow. They ain't kidding about that. Okay. So not only is she going to be a decent tank for you, but has a chance to just Hulk smash somebody. That's pretty crazy. Crimson Frame arming. If you recall, arming regular is one of the best tanks you can get early game. Probably the best tank, honestly. So let's see what Crimson. I almost said Crimson Pig. Crimson Flame arming. Arming attacks the enemy with a large shield at a 50% chance to provoke the enemy for 1 turn. So there's a strong taunt right there. Can be gotten to 75%. For 2, when an ally is attacked by a critical strike, reduce damage taken by 20%. Oh wow, just passively? Wow, that's pretty strong. That's a tanking ability right there. Nice. And then Holy Shield, Soul Burn effect, 6 turn cooldown. Armin covers all allies with a Holy Shield, grants immunity for 3 turns, and what? Invincible for 1 turn. Immunity. Is immunity immune to all damage? No, invincibilities. So then immunity, maybe that means immune to debuffs. Maybe that's what that is, which would be super strong. And you could Soul Burn skill cooldown, goes down by 2, and then you can get an additional turn, so you can take it to 3 turn cooldown. Assuming you have the souls to burn. That's pretty damn strong. Wow. Well, I would dare venture to say this is the best tank when you get the Moonlight. At least that I've seen so far. Let's keep going. General Purgus. Purgus, really. Attacks the enemy on his 1 with his large sword. Giggity. With a 50% chance to provoke the enemy for 1 turn. So there's a taunt there as well. Spearhead. When Purgus gets attacked, increase all allies' action gauge by 10%. Oh wow, so yeah, if you taunt with them. Pretty good. Pretty good there. Upgrade, basically get more action gauge. Rush command, so acquisition 3, 6 turn skill cooldown. Purgus rushes out to attack the enemy, randomly stuns 2 of the enemy for 1 turn with a 75% chance. Increase the attack power of all allies for 2 turns. Wow, that's pretty good. Considering he's not even a tank, he's a warrior. Funny. So essentially, skill cooldown decreases by 2, yeah. So he's buffing all allies attack, randomly stuns 2 enemies at a 75% chance, and it's a big AoE damage. I assume it might just be a 2 damage. I guess I'll have to see it in action. But either way, it's still pretty strong considering taunt plus every time someone gets crit, or not someone gets crit, every time someone gets attacked, increases all allies' gauges by 10%. That's pretty strong. So right here, outspace Mercedes. I know something about her, which I'm not going to disclose. It has nothing to do with the guide, it's storyline stuff, so. But keep in mind this is a Dark Spirit user. Mercedes attacks the enemy with lightning magic with a 30% chance to inflict, basically blocks healing for 2 turns. Interesting. Honor 1. Honor 2, Mercedes attacks the enemy with a heath. I assume that means high electric spear. The damage increases proportionally to the target's maximum health. Interesting. Okay. And then her 3, which is the Soul Burn effect, 6 turn cooldown. Liberate the last spell to attack the enemy. The action gauge is increased by 15%. Increase attack power for 2 turns. So I guess essentially it's a big single target nuke. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who has her. Because I distinctly remember her having an AoE, I thought. Maybe it's an AoE. Yeah, it just says attack the enemy, so it's probably an AoE. And then action gauge is increased by 15%, and attack power is increased for 2 turns. So. Soul consumption, skill goes down 2 turns on cooldown, takes it to 4, you can get it to 3 here, so that could be pretty strong as well. Interesting, okay. Mercedes is a fun character, the original Mercedes. Shadow Rose. Interesting. Okay, so we got a dark 4-star tank here. Let's check it out. 1. Rose swings her sword and attacks the enemy. If the target's health is more than half, reduce the defense with a 50% chance for a turn. If it is less than half, disturb HP recovery. Oh, that's funny. That's a funny skill swap. Basically, if you're low on life, blocks healing. But if you're high on life, reduce defense. That's pretty cool. Dark Spear, 3 turn cooldown. Rose jumps in the air and attacks the enemy with a Dark Spear, removes 1 beneficial effect, and reduces armor for 2 turns. So she has armor reduction capabilities on her 1 and 2. And gets rid of a buff, so that's cool. Goddess of Destruction, 5 turn cooldown, Soul Burn effect. By attacking the enemy with the energy of destruction, reduces the action gauge by 25% and increases all allies' action gauges by 25%. Alright, both AoEs too, AoE effects, so you're reducing simultaneously the action gauge 25% of the enemies, all enemies, and increasing all allies' action gauge by 25%. On a 5 turn cooldown, and you can Soul Burn it to 3, you can upgrade it to 2, that's pretty strong for an AoE effect. Pretty strong. Shadow Rose as a tank too, that's interesting. Alright, we got 2 more guys and then we're done. Shooting Star Agatha. If y'all remember, Agatha is the good 4-star healer. Some even say she's better than Destina, depending on what you're doing. So here we go, Dark Healer. Don't know what's up. She kind of looks like straight out of like the 60s or whatever, but whatever. 1. Agatha strikes the enemy with a staff, has a 50% chance to inflict blind for a turn. Okay, that's cool. 2. Resurrection magic. Agatha resurrects 1 dead ally, so there is a second person that does resurrection. Grants invincibility effect for 1 turn. If the ally is not dead, grants invincibility effect for 3 turns. And 2 random effects. Oh, really? So like 2 random buffs? Invincibility for 3 turns. Holy shit. Wow, I want this hero. 3 turns? On a 6 turn cooldown. You can upgrade it to a 5 turn cooldown. So if you ran her with like, whatever that sword chick, you could get it to a 3 turn cooldown. Huh. Interesting. intriguing because that skill's so useful. Not only does it resurrect, but it does the invincibility effect for 3 turns. That's pretty nuts. Alright, so let's... Wait. Oh, it's Soulburn too. Additional turn occurs. Okay. So I guess if you need to get her ult out or something, let's see what her ult does. Sparkling Star. 4 turn cooldown. Balances the HP ratio of the ally target and self and matches the HP of the lower one to the higher one. Ignore disturb HP recovery. Nice. Heal the ally target and self after the balance. Oh really? So it heals on top of resetting to the higher HP ratio. The amount of recovery is based on the target's maximum health. Yeah, that's similar to regular Agatha. Wow, so it ignores HP block, or heal block. Target and self. And it heals after it brings whoever's the lower HP to the higher percentage. Wow, that's really strong. On a 4 turn cooldown, and then you can make it a 3 turn cooldown. Crazy, crazy, crazy. She's a pretty interesting healer. Wow. Makes me want her now. Alright, last one, guys. And there may be more Moonlight heroes, guys, but I just got the ones that are translated, so... Along with ML Silk, who I told you about, so... Anyways, as the wikis and stuff get updated, guys, look forward to more guides on the Moonlight heroes as more of us reach that plateau. So alright, here we go. We got support type Lats. Lats is a spirit user, dark 4-star. On his 1, I assume it's a guy. After attacking the enemy with a magic spear, increase your damage for 1 turn. Did I miss the 1? I guess not. That's a passive? Huh. It's the first time I've seen a 1 as a passive. So is this person not capable of doing follow-up effects? Maybe it is a regular attack and then it increases the damage. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because it does say... Oh no, it says damage increase. I don't know. Interesting. Sorcery Infusion on the 2 turn cooldown. Infuse ally target with magic, increase attack power for 2 turns, and increase action gauge by 80% on a 2 turn cooldown. Holy shit. And you can upgrade it to 100. Pretty good there. It did say support type, let's. Alright, Devastation. Attacks all enemies with intense magic power. 50% chance to inflict silence for 1 turn. Silence is super good in this game. Soulburn effect, additional turn occurs. Okay. Okay, so he's just like the chaos / buffer turn haster. Interesting, interesting. Alright guys, so that's the Moonlight Heroes guide for now. I will do an updated version as soon as we know more about the Moonlight Heroes stuff, but this is in-game character stuff, guys, so be looking forward to that the longer you play, and hopefully we'll all get our very own ML Kens, ML Silks. I personally would love to have an Agatha. There's also a couple other heroes in here I thought were pretty cool. Especially Armin was good, but I especially enjoyed this guy. Pertis, I believe, he's the guy with the taunt. And then when he gets hit, increases all allies' action gauge by 10%. That's pretty strong. So anyways guys, but this video's been long enough. I need to get my ass over to Downey or whatever the hell, so... Peace out guys, this will be my last video for now. If I can, I'll try to sneak in the PvP video before the launch, but good luck, I got a lot of stuff to do, so... Yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtime DR. You found my YouTube. Consider hitting like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and you know you enjoyed the content. No, I'm kidding. So then, check the title info. There's a link to the Discord and my Twitch. That's all I got to say, guys. I gotta go, and I'm hungry, so I'll catch you later. Peace.